Hello, and welcome to Girlbye, the podcast that brings queer conversation to the so-called norm. Today, I want to welcome a good friend of mine, an upcoming artist, somebody who's full of energy and brings a lot of light to a conversation. Magdiel, how are you doing?
Hi guys, I'm good. Um, just all right. It's September.
Well, welcome to Girlbye,
Thank
and
you for
I am
having me.
excited to have you. Tell everybody listening and watching a little bit about yourself, a little bit about your past, where you grew up, things you like to do for fun. Let people get to know you a little bit.
All right. Well, my name is Magdiel. Um, Last name is Reyes. Okay, but ain't nobody really needs to know that. But my name is Magdiel. I'm 26. I'm a Pisces. Birthday's February. Very sweet, very outgoing. I'm just myself. Not to be nothing to be ashamed of. Being yourself. I grew up in Puerto Rico, just a Latino man. I was raised in Puerto Rico, but then kind of moved to Florida, and I've been in Florida ever since. I love singing. I have a couple of music that I'm gonna to prepare to release soon. Got to go into the studio tonight and just get everything good. I just dropped a new song called Painless, so if you guys want to hear it, it's Painless. I enjoy it, but like I said, just a plain simple man, a little hyper, a little excited, just a caring person. I love. So that's who I
Well, that's a great recap on your life and a little bit about yourself. We will plug the song into the description below, and you guys can go ahead and search that on Spotify or Apple Music, right? Both platforms.
Yes, and YouTube and everything else.
Yeah. And then we will also plug his new music when he goes to release it. We'll drop it in the comments section once your music is out. So congratulations on that. I know that
Thank
that is
you.
something you've
Thank
been
you.
working on, and that is
Yes,
a
it has. It's been a long, 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 long time. I'm just very excited and um, very grateful. It's like everybody says, God opens a door for you, one closes and then another opens. And I think this is just my turn of now focusing on myself and just kind of letting it out in my music. So it's time. So I'm excited and hopefully you guys enjoy that. So it's gonna be fun.
I am thrilled. I've been obviously the number one fan from day one.
Yes, you have. It
Maybe
doesn't feel like
pushing the boundary here.
yes.
Uh, so to kind of bring us through the story and kind of going from the beginning, I always really like to start with everybody kind of explaining a little bit about what your coming out story was kind of like. When did you really realize that you were part of the queer community, and how did that come about for you?
Wow. That story is a little bit like um honestly I think I've always known. I just you gotta hide it. The world that we grew up in and to this day, it's an everyday thing. But when I grew up in this part of this world and being gay, like I grew up in a Christian family. So a lot of people are very judgmental on certain things. At first, in the beginning, I was just very confused. We're kids. Everybody, some people already know, some people, don't. I think for me, I was just in that limbo, like, oh, well, I don't know if I'm gay, if I'm bi, if I'm straight, if I don't know, like, I just don't know. So, just in the beginning, I kind of explored and just I did through my little porn thing, just went through all that. So I was just like, I don't know if I'm there. So after a while, I kind of got into my girlfriends, and thank God that the last ex, I actually became best friends with her. So it came out as a good benefit out of that. But um, while I was dating her, it came out that I was bi, and the reality I was hiding that. So didn't kind of like whatever. But then again, I had sex with a girl and I did not like it. And I was like, but then again, I'm a little older, so it might be different now. But at that time, I kind of just knew, and I was seeing this dude, um, and we kind of kissed and it kind of like sparked, and I was just like, I kind of like it. I was like, I think I am gay. So about around the age of 12, 13, I came out, and I had told my mom, and well, I told my aunt first, and my aunt opened her mouth and she told my mom. I was like, why would you do that? So my mom called me into the room and she was like, I wish you could have told me, but she was kind of upset a little bit because I couldn't have, like, I guessing because she thought in her mind I was, I couldn't have kids because I was gay. So I was just like, I mean, that makes no sense, but eventually she took a loving and she was like, I just want you to be happy. I don't care what you are, just be yourself. But I kind of noticed, yeah, like I said, at 13, I knew I was gay as hell. And I kind of just try to hide that. But when I fully came out was at the like age of 16. Like I was just like, at this point, I'm just not gonna hide it anymore. So that's when I kind of knew. It's a little bizarre. My sisters were like, "Oh, we already knew. We just waited for you to come tell us." So I was like, right. But I was like, girl, bye. You know, girl, bye. Like,
Yes. And that's usually, I mean, I find it funny because everybody's story is obviously really, really different. But I think, it's funny because the amount of time that I've known you, you are so authentically yourself all the time that if you were to tell this story to people that didn't know you before and they know you now, it would be almost hard to believe because you are so much yourself. Like you don't seem like you're really trying to fit a certain norm or any of that type of stuff. So you're just being truly like who you are authentically. And I think it comes off so strong how authentic you are that
yeah,
like to know
no, and
that
I
you
think
went through a
I
time.
think I realized that over time. Um, I got bullied for that. That's automatically I got bullied for that, for being myself, for being, I guess, in too feminine in a way. Like, growing up in middle school and elementary, a lot of people just do bully you for no fucking reason. But at the end of the day, it's more of you grow from it and you take that and don't surround yourself around that. So for me, I now if I see anybody getting bullied, I stand up for that because I don't appreciate that. That's just I did it and it's crazy because at the beginning I was a bully and then karma came back. And karma took very of a strong. Oh, right.
You were a
So
bully.
yeah, I mean, but I was a kid. Like, I think now that I notice as a grown up, you realize like that's not cool, And I
Well,
was with the
let's
wrong crowd. I was with the wrong crowd. I can't say like after I left that crowd and I got into middle school, that's when my bullying started kicking in. And at that some point, I was just like, all right, it's not cool. Like, I understand that. So over time, um, I kind of just started being myself. I just did not care. I was just like, I'm just gonna be me. And if you like me, you like me. If you don't, whatever. But I also had that insecurity within myself. I just be yourself. It's just, um
Well,
my
we're gonna take a second here. We're gonna take a second here, and I would like a formal apology to anyone that you've ever bullied that remembers you as being their bully.
sorry. Sorry. I
Sorry.
really, I'm really am sorry. Like, to be honest, but the only person I did it to, I already apologized to a couple of years ago, and
Oh, period.
I sincerely, we were grown ups. So I'm not about to. This was, I'm 26 now. This was about 3 to 4 years ago. We saw each other. I said, hey, I do apologize if you felt like as a kid, you know, I honestly to be honest, she turned out to be a bitch. Like, I'm sorry, but I thought she's really changed. But that was my karma coming back what I did to her as a kid. So I was just like, all right, I'm gonna step away. Um, But I did apologize sincerely. Like, I think the older you get, like, you apologize, and if they forgive you, forgive you. I'm not saying you got to come back into my life. I'm just saying I'm sorry for my actions.
Right.
So I take responsibility, and that's something that I'm learning, as well as, different things. But no, I don't like to bully. I just honestly give up good advice. And I think that's because I grew up around good people that has given me advice, and I've taken that. I'm just trying to be straight headed and not do that. I don't like being bullied myself. I don't mentally
Yeah.
or like being that. Like, that's just not who I am. I'm not even a fighter. Like, I took karate for 8 years, but I still won't fight. It's just who I'm not. I'm not that person. I'm just lovable, hug. Life is short. We got to really see that as that way as well. Like, people
Definitely.
people are always hating. People are always talking crap about each other, and this world is just already ending, and we are still fighting for little stupid things. But just care
Yeah.
about one another and just be nice. Not everybody has to be like that. I'm not saying. I'm just saying the kind
No,
people
everyone
don't
should
ever
be nice.
change.
Everyone should be nice. That's not negotiable. I mean, we should. I mean, hello. But going back to the karate thing, so you did karate for 8 years and not being a real fighter. What karate belt did you get to?
Black belt, first degree. Um, it took me a while, but that's another reason why I got bullied too, because I, for some reason, entertained myself as a karate kid. Like, this is my own world. And the reason why I got into it is, one, I was bullied. I was getting bullied, but two, it was something for my mom to get me out of the house for a while. So I enjoyed it. I got into it at first. And the first day that I did it, they put me in a split. I said, please take me off this. I don't want to be here. This is not for me. But over time, I enjoyed it, and I got to be able to travel into different states and compete. I've gotten first place in a lot of medals. I still have them framed. I got second place, third place. You learned over time, but it's over. It was fun. I wouldn't mind going back. I think that's a great exercise and a great, self defense, as well as I don't mind doing other things. Like, my first dream was to become an MMA fighter, of course. Like, yes, I wanted to fight. Like, I have so much anger sometimes, so I just be like,
For somebody that doesn't like to fight, the dream is to be an MMA fighter. Got it.
in your head. Okay, in the beginning, like, that's what I'm saying. In the
Yeah.
beginning, um, I don't like to fight. I don't like to put my hands on people, 'cause there's no reason for be putting people's hands on each other. That just makes no sense. Like, unless it's really on a purpose. But um, I don't need a fight to get what I'm saying out of my mouth. Like, that's just
Yeah.
not,
Unless
just
a
being
hoe really
funny.
deserves it.
That part, like, girl, bye. So, at the end of the day, it's just kind of be nice to one another. But karate was my
Yeah.
thing, and it also teaches you how to respect people, because you really got to respect your elders. Not all of them, because some of them got a little outs, but tea on that. But elders, respect your people, respect your family, respect your friends, love one
Yeah.
another, listen to them. Just um, but violence is not the answer. That's all I'm just saying.
So can you still do a split?
Of course I can, girl. I can.
Period. We need
I
we
still
need a
can.
video of a split to insert right here.
Oh, girl, what? No, I don't need nobody to be scared of my split. They'll be like, "Ooh, that's good." Like,
Is that one of those tricks that you save only for the bedroom?
mhm, you already know. Yes, splitting and like, yes, yes, yes. Look at
Splits. The splits
that.
is what gets it. That is hilarious. Well, in that karate journey and now coming to adulthood, in this time frame, and you said that like earlier on in the beginning of coming out, it was a struggle with like family and stuff like that. How did that journey grow? How did you kind of go from kind of coming out and meeting those barriers, and how did you grow with your family? What were like some tools or tips that you can kind of talk about that has helped you get to where you are now? Because I think now you're more closer to your family, and kind of what was that journey
I
like?
Yeah, so honestly, coming out was a little bit different in my family due to my grandma's was a Christian, so she don't believe in all that. R.I.P. to her, I miss her. My grandpa didn't really understand it, but still loved me due to that. He was the one that raised me. I didn't grow up with a father. I grew up with all females. I think that's why I'm also feminine as well. So I just kind of you also, what I'm trying to say is that over time, it really takes time for your family to kind of adjust due to that there's something new and, they didn't expect that, but they also had their suspicions. So, what over time, I think what I started to realize that whoever wants to be in my life, they wants to be in my life, and whoever doesn't, they don't need to. My brother, for an example, when I first came out, my brother did not like as soon as he found out, he blocked me, stopped talking to me, like, and me and him were like very close, like we was brother to brother. So over time, like 4 or 5 years passed, got older, he kind of got used to that. Like I was not going to change for no one. My grandma, like told her I was not changing for no one. I think for me, it's hard to tell, definitely to tell your family because you think they're gonna judge you, but in our reality, it's easier said than done. I'm guessing in a way of like, hey mom, hey dad, I'm gay. Like some people don't like that just because of their culture and the way that they were raised. Some people are going to support you and they're gonna love you for who you are, no matter what you go through fucking life. At the end of the day, it's just the older that you get, the wiser you get, and you start realizing things in life that people around you have been telling you, and you're just too hard headed, and you grow over time, and you're like, okay, I get where they're coming from. Um, always. Always to love yourself, and that's what I'm learning about myself. I think that certain things because of how I grew up and how I came out. I was alone majority of the time being gay. People didn't really understand that. I didn't really surround myself around like gay people. Like it's just I did not did that just because I was always around girls. And that's just more of like I didn't understand like from a male perspective. But like
Yeah.
I said, I grew up around females more than male. And I guess that's why I sing a lot of female songs. Like, okay. Like I guess so. Um, but always, so what I'm trying to say is always stay true to yourself, love yourself, and you will have people that will support you for being gay.
Right.
Especially the kids that are coming out nowadays and being themselves. I very applaud you. Like I cheer you on because it was not easy when I was growing up. I think now because we're in a certain type of era, like it's easier for people to come out. But as far as like how I grew up back in like early 20,000, I was just honestly at the
Say that
what did I
again.
say,
When you grew
20,000?
up in the early
At
2000s.
2000.
In the early 20,000s.
I can't with fucking man. Where do you know, yo? I can't.
No, it'd be shady if I left that one in. It'd be shady if I left that one in. How about
You
that?
should. You should leave it. It's just because it's comedy. Um, the,
I'm gonna
the
leave the whole part in.
the early 2000s. Bro, I went into the future shit like
Okay.
20,000. God, that's funny. Okay. Early 2000s, growing up, it was more of um, very strict and stuff. Like I said, people
Yeah.
nowadays still go through all that. Getting bullied. Keep that right there. Keep that too. Keep that too. Okay, cut all that that was a hell of I'm not Betty, I can't with you. Um, damn. Yeah, so it's okay to be yourself. I think that being yourself also is a good thing, but also could be a bad thing sometimes. I guess, and for myself, I'm not speaking for everybody else. For me, um, we all going to go through some things. Like remember that somebody is always going through it way worse than you. And I think I'm always gonna thank people for telling me that. So just love yourself.
So I know that you have done a lot of gigs, a lot of contests, things like
Yeah.
that, as you kind of been going on in your music journey now that you're coming out with music. But prior to even now where you are, this journey of singing is really something that you kind of dedicate a lot of your time to. Anybody who wants to go follow Magdiel on TikTok, you can see him singing in all random parts of Jacksonville. Um,
I'm
you want to see
for
somebody
real.
belting out crazy vocals in a gazebo in the middle of some random ass apartment complex. It's Magdiel on TikTok.
No, I think growing up, like I said, I grew up in a singing family as well. Like my both sisters are singers. One of them was a church singer, and the other one is just a choir. But my younger sister don't sing anymore. She's like in the beginning, I kind of wanted to cook. I really like to cook. So I wanted to be a chef. I wanted to learn some things. I wanted to go to culinary school. But then I was like, I want to be a police. I was like, nah. But then I wanted to be an MMA fighter, and I was like, nah. I was like, this is just too much. So I surrounded myself with people that sing, which was like my sister and her friends. And over time, I started picking that in myself. I started practicing, and in the beginning, I sounded like a goat. Not gonna lie, like I was crying for help. Um, but I started focusing way too much on my vocals and just learning and imitating other artists and learning their runs and riffs and their styles and their abilities to do different things that they with people's voices. Like number one, let's start off with Mariah. Love Mariah dearly. Like Whitney, Patti LaBelle, um, Tina Turner. Like it's a lot of different people just that um I'm very inspired of, and especially in this new age too. There's a lot of great people like SZA, Tori Kelly, Madison Beer. Just a lot of different people that just different voices. And what I do is I take that and I kind of make it my own style. Due to that's what you should do. As a singer, don't ever copy nobody. But you kind of just tell a story with singing, and I enjoyed telling a story. So if I don't know how to speak, I would just tell you how I feel in a song. So that's how I kind of just started also writing. I also moved to Georgia at some point, and um, I had no friends, no families around, so majority of my head was just focusing on writing. So I wrote a lot of songs, and yet to not put anything out due to judgmental and just a lot of crazy things in my head that I just don't want to go through. But then again, a lot of people were telling me like if they want to follow you, they want to follow you. If they don't, then just move on. But put out music because a lot of people can relate to what you're going through, just mentally. Also, kids. Um, and it's funny because when growing up, I was like, oh my God, I want to be on TV. Like, I want to be on American Idol. I want to be on The Voice. Like, I want to be on this. And it took me a while because I got signed at the age of 18. And being signed was such a great experience. And after a while, you started realizing that whatever they were trying to provide you, I was like, I don't want this. Like, I just don't want to be in this. And I'm not mentally ready. I'm a kid. Like, but then again, I should have shut my mouth and just went through it. I probably would have been somewhere already or with some good music out. But the songs they were giving me, I was like, I do not want this. Like, this is not me. This is not who I am. Clearly, y'all know who I found with my music that I've been doing. Like, that's what I want. But they wanted to do theirs. But like I said, I should have just shut my mouth and went along with it. But I'm glad I did it. That door closed, another opened, and I got into more gigs. I started performing. I've been, done a quinceañera. My favorite that I want to do is sing at a wedding. So if anybody's out there talking about to get married, let me know. I got you. But as well as like I said, I was able to when I moved to Georgia, I was able to focus on myself and focus on my vocals. I started just learning different things, and eventually, I signed up for American Idol. And after like the ninth try, I finally got in, and it was so an emotional day. It was one of the best experiences in the world. I think that um it's a once in a lifetime thing. And I really enjoyed getting to meet different artists and different stories and different like styles. Great opportunity. But when I got to American Idol, I was so excited that I got in the way of my own dream by singing too much and by being so excited and being so like it was one of the best experiences. I'm not gonna lie. I I won't sit here and say that it wasn't my fault because I that ass was doing way too much. Also, I was rehearsing way too much because I was just so nervous. Like my hands are shaky, like, oh my God. And but whatever. I got to in front of them. And as soon as I started singing, I was like, nope, I'm out. But I got to meet Lionel, Katie, Luke. I got to meet Ryan Seacrest, as well as I've met Jordan Sparks. Like I've met so many great people, great artists. Um, but I, the reason why I'm doing it is because I'm very happy what I do with my voice and um, how I can kind of inspire different people to be themselves and to find their dreams. It doesn't have to be singing, but if you are a singer and you are scared of as your voice, like just record yourself. And as far as just listen to yourself and you start realizing that certain things you can't do, certain things you can, and you are going to find that crowd that will love your voice. And for me, like I said, I found my crowd, but I'm still growing and I'm still working on that. But I want to do the reason why I'm doing this is because, like I said, uh, I want to make sure that my mom is good. So I want to. If I can do it working as a regular job, I'd rather just put my focus into the singing and just go ham and make money
Yeah.
out of it. I know it's going to take some time due to the being an independent person is more of a harder way. But at the same time, independent artists are coming up now. Like, let's go. Like,
Yeah.
a lot of people are, changing, and a lot of people say that it's best to be by yourself independently than being with someone else because there's a lot being controlled, a lot of different things, and you can't be yourself in a way. You got to have a specific look and view and things. And
Yeah.
I'm myself, and if you don't like me for who I am, like move on, but I'm still here, love myself. But just, singing has always been my passion. I think that's what gets me through whatever I go through in life. It's like I sing, let it out, and I feel better. And I'm like, all right, let's go ahead and move forward with the day because the day should
Period.
it should not be sad. It should be a bright day, should be a happy day, and shit. And you might accomplish something or learn something new from with yourself or whatever. But
Now, what if you could get signed on a label with Beyonce?
well, if I get something by Beyonce, I'm like Beyonce, teach me what you did to Chloe, because she out here twerking at the dog, girl.
I'm
Like,
just saying, I don't know about you, but Chloe is out here doing things.
Holly out here be the whole
They get in the bag.
It's for real. But it took time though, because
Yeah.
they started doing covers on YouTube, like everybody else, like Shawn Mendes, like I said, them, and it's just a lot of good people. But if I ever get signed, I want to get signed because I want to be able to do my own music. I don't want to be signed because you need me to do this and this and that. I don't want that.
Yeah.
I want to make the type of music that I want to make, and if it creates the crowd, it creates the crowd or not. But right now, I'm such a like I switched it up. I wanted to be in a ballad, and then I want to be pop, but I am really just tapping into an R&B era, and I'm gonna go into that. And I'm gonna go into pop, but I got to put my foot somewhere in to get into whatever I need to get to. But
Yeah.
right
And
now,
I don't think you necessarily have to pick a genre either. I think
you don't
it's now coming to the point where I mean, I think the idea of being a genre artist um is just kind of wild. If you look at certain people, like I know he's controversial, but Chris Brown has a lot of different songs in a lot of different genres.
for sure.
Beyonce has a lot of different songs in a lot of
True.
different genres. So you also don't have to like shove yourself into a box. And I think that's something to always remember too as you kind of go through. You can have, different pieces of work, and Cowboy Carter shows you that you can have a lot of different types of music on one single album at the
Okay.
same time.
Okay.
Because I'm just saying that album has everything you need.
Just like SZA. Like SZA writes, she'll look toxic, but she does explain different things as well, like as Beyonce, as well as JoJo, as well as Tori Kelly, as well as Whitney Houston. All these people have different things that I enjoy, and
What do you enjoy from JoJo?
huh?
What do you enjoy from JoJo?
JoJo, I don't know what she was doing at 13, dropping get out. Like, I don't know what she was doing. But now JoJo is, I've seen an interview about her. JoJo is honestly very true to herself, especially she's been through, the industry and getting signed, and then they blackballed JoJo, and there was just a lot of different things that I could relate to, like, oh my god, like it's loving yourself and not having to be signed to anything. You just
Are we talking about JoJo Siwa?
girl could never talk to come on that bitch. I should have known better. No, no, listen, I
Just
respect
kidding.
that part. No, I'm talking about JoJo.
No, I know. I'm just kidding.
Okay.
I'm dead because I like to bring up JoJo Siwa because I just think that she's so delusional. It's
No,
amazing.
she is, and then she tried to come. She, she's like, there's never been one like me. But Miley Cyrus really like Miley said can't be tamed. Uh,
No, that Bangers album. No, stop,
that big, oh God, she's like,
stop. That Karma song would have never made it to the Bangers album. Get out of here with that.
never.
Get outta
And
here
then
with
it's the
that.
fact that JoJo Siwa stole the song from someone else. Like, I just don't
I
get
can't.
it. Like,
I can't.
we can steal the beat, but not the words.
Girl, she's the words. She stole the audio. It was the other girl
No,
singing.
the words.
It's the other girl singing.
I'm just saying,
Not
but
the other girl singing the song.
yeah.
JoJo's team is gonna come for me because I'm pretty sure that now in like
If
three
we,
different
what's your podcast again? Girlbye.
Girlbye.
Okay.
Girlbye. You know what? I hope JoJo Siwa does see this and talks about it. I do need the fans.
Okay, like
Because they'll agree, girl. Please post me. They'll agree with me. I promise you.
she gonna talk shit.
Yeah. Let's talk about dating in the queer community. What was the journey in meeting people? And what has your experience been in the dating realm when it comes to real life versus apps?
Okay. Growing up, dating guys were a little difficult due to that I had daddy issues. And I'm honestly not afraid to say that. I honestly am proud of where I'm at now instead of being delusional back then. And I think for me was that I was so hard-headed and so focused in everybody's ass. I just didn't really understood myself. My first ex was I was 17, about to be 18. I was like maybe a couple days. My ex was like 30 something, something like 37 or 34, 30 something, right around there. And he was a very good manipulator and a good now that I see what a person like that as well as a narcissist and stuff like that, I understand, like it's crazy, but you know, over time you learn from your mistakes, you learn from heartbreaks, and um it makes you stronger. I think anytime you go into a relationship, you learn, and that's not just with any relationship, but also just with friendship as well. You learn to kind of be self-aware of your surroundings and what people energies come around, and that's why people are meant for a season. Some people are meant for life, some people are just there for to show you a lesson. I think the people that has been coming into my life has been a reason to show me something to not do to the next person or to better myself as a person. I think that we're not all perfect. We all make mistakes. We all say things that are not meant to be said. Especially a relationship is about communicating and as well as being true to yourself. But at the same time, you also have those walls where you have to keep up because they're cruel. They're People care about themselves more than anybody else. Like, let's get that shit for real. Like, you know, even friends too. I swear, your ride or die will be your ride or die. The people that are not your ride or die, they will throw you right under the fucking bus and they will just not give a fuck. So to me, I've learned my lesson that if you're gonna do that, I'll just include myself because I don't want to be in a situation where I'm getting in trouble, I'm getting cussed at, I'm being seen as the bad guy. I've played the victim game before, and I'm not afraid to say that due to that. That's how you live and you learn from those mistakes. You're like, oh, not do that again. Don't do that again. There's sometimes where you will slip up, but it's you live and you learn. I'm learning. And I know for a fact that once I do get to my age of 30, I want to be able to be like, oh my God, like I'm very proud of myself for learning the things that I've taken in a relationship and friendships and life. Dating and in general, it's just not easy. Like people are hard-headed, have insecurities within themselves. People have walls, people have this, and that's why they say get the ugly out first before you get into a relationship. Like I said, I think for me, I've taken a lot of responsibilities and actions for myself that I've done in the past, and I don't want to do that again. And I think now, in this point of life, after just coming out of a relationship, and just going through a lot of things as wise, it's like life and health. It's just, you know, kind of sucks, but you learn and you grow and you succeed and you get to you people that really are good people will come into your life and they will stay in your life for a good time if you let them, if you be real. You know, friends, good people really just don't come that often, you know. So when they do, cherish them, love them. And you know, and I think that was my problem. I think there was only one good person that I enjoyed that I messed up on. And it sucks because you're like, fuck. But you also feel those things in a relationship where you're not feeling love, but you're also hoping. You're grabbing because you don't know if anybody else is going to love you the way they love you, or they're not going to give you that attention the way but it's okay to let go. And that's why I'm very proud of myself that I'm realizing that within myself, that it's okay to let go. It's okay to give yourself time and try it again later. And if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. And that's why I'm just saying I've come a long way from coming to not knowing anything in a relationship to now knowing that keeping that in your head is like what keeps your strength and your happiness. Like, I have boundaries. I love myself. I'm not going to
Right.
let this person or this person tell me not what to do or what to do. I am my own person. I'm going to die alone. We all die alone. I'm sorry. No, we don't. Some of us. Some of us dies alone just due to that. We're not, some people are not meant for relationships. You know that.
Yeah.
People don't know how to communicate. We know that. Some people are just going to be, I'm sorry, but some people will be a cheaters. Like, I guess there are going to be cheaters. There's going to be people that are going to be a great liar. There's going to be great people that are narcissists. We all grow in this, we all live in a world where there's going to be one of another. There's a up and there's a down, there's a left and there's a right. It is, life is not easy. It's just, you have to find that person who will sit there with you and understand you 100%. But it's also, you have to be open. Like, I think that's what I fail to do, is not be open, because I'm afraid to be judged. I'm afraid to let people in the way that I should, because if I let you in, I just feel like I'm gonna get hurt. And just because I've just been hurt too many times. I've been bullied,
Right.
and it's painful to really let somebody in. And that person, if that person really do care, they really do want to be part of your life, and they really just want to be there for you, supportive. Like, just the, it sucks that we don't get people like that. And I think that's why, myself, I'd rather put my feelings and everything else of what I'm going through to the side, to be there for that person. That's who I am.
Right.
And I just really enjoy being a people person. And I guess I'm just a people pleaser, which I'm kind of taking that away, because I shouldn't be pleasing everybody. And that's another thing.
Yeah.
So as you grow up and as you go into relationships and friends, you don't please everybody. So um proud of myself with that, as well as, like I said, you live and you learn, and you take those, and if you want to learn from them, you learn from them. If not, then keep repeating that, and the same consequences, the same results are going to keep coming in. And at some
Right.
point, that will get boring and will get old, and eventually, by the time that happens, you might be at a certain age, you're like, fuck, I'm old now, like, I can't do that. Certain people's mindsets are different, and like, some people's mindsets are weak, some people are strong. And that's why I'm saying people got to be there for each other, just due to, we are all killing each other nowadays. We all dying nowadays. You don't know if you're gonna die in the next minute or 5 minutes or hour or whatever. And it sucks. But relationships, it's not easy. It's just all about communication, being transparent, being real, being love, being that rocking, like that riding, that ride or die type of chick. I just don't need to respond to that. I
Right.
think, I believe within myself that certain things that we talk about, or certain things that is brought up, don't need to respond. It's just to be there for that person, to love that person. Like, if you're feeling lonely, for an example, and you don't tell me how you feel, but I can see it in your face, I'm gonna be there for you 100%. I'm gonna hug you. I'm gonna tell you it's gonna be okay. It's just, but then again, not everybody is like that, and that's fine. People are
Yeah.
going to be itchy, some people are going to be whatever, but love your significant other and just cherish them, because, again, people don't come that often.
Yeah.
You
And
live and you learn.
definitely in like relationship building, it's really important, I think, to understand boundaries and be very, very clear with those boundaries, and really making sure that the relationships that you're building them with core values of like benefiting both parties in the friendship. I think when you have friendships that are heavy one-sided and things like that, that's where a lot of the issues come into play, right? That's where like a lot of problems come.
Right.
Now, with your dating life in general in the app world, um, your experiences from where you live, you're in Florida, which, as we know, government wise, is the worst place for any LGBTQ person to be
Yes.
living. what is the like
I
hookup
hear.
culture versus the DL culture? When you open Grinder, is it all blank profiles?
Yo, you know what's funny? With I think that, and I will say this: Grindr's changed. Grinder in the beginning did not used to do this. This Grinder used to be just nothing but like POF, like dating. Now it's just a
Yeah.
whole girl. We all know it's a fuck place, girl. I'll meet you outside. That's how close you are. Like, that's how close you are. So now we also got this thing called sniffies, girl. Like, I just don't get it. I don't get it. But you know, at the end of the day, I've realized that some DL people are just unhappy. You know, they just never got to experience that thing with a man. And you know, some people are strictly straight. That's fine, understandable. But you also got them DLs that be acting gay. That's war, but they're straight around people. Also, they're very insecure. They're very insecure with themselves. As well as they're just unhappy in their marriage or relationships or other things. And um,
I'm
like I
sorry. I'm gonna say it. If you are a straight man on Grinder or on Sniffies, you're not a straight man. I don't care what the hell anybody gotta say. That's a lie. That's a
said,
scam. Scammer, Joanne the scammer, scam. If they're on Grinder, they're not straight. If
at
you
all.
are willing to suck a dick or get your dick sucked by a man, you're not straight. You could
Okay.
be bi, and that's okay. It's okay to be bi. It's okay to be yourself and like figure out what you want. But listen, for all the people watching, there's no straight men watching this podcast, but for anybody watching the podcast, the man ain't straight. If y'all girls listening to this podcast think that your man is straight, even though he be getting his dick sucked by a man, he not straight. Period.
Like, and we have a lot of those. I think that's what I'm telling you. It's easier now for DL people. Like back then, that was
Yeah.
a different story. I think it's now easier because a lot more people are gay nowadays, and it's more. It's starting to come out, and it started to expand and everywhere. I mean, it's been doing that for a while, but
Yeah, I think it's really the touch of social media, right? Like the being able to get on an app and really find whatever you want to find in 5 minutes or
it's
so.
just an it's just a
Um,
it's an experience. Like people want to
yeah.
know, like I want to know how to feel. Like I want to know this and this and that. And I mean, it's nothing really much of
No. And I
it's
think something that
we just don't have a pussy. That's all we don't have. Like it's the
I mean
only
that's
thing.
debatable.
I mean, yeah, we could cut our dicks and make it into a vagina and shit. We get that.
You could buy a pussy.
True.
You could buy one. Yeah. And some of these girls are so bottoms, they think they got a pussy.
Okay.
So just gonna say that.
That's what I'm saying. But no, I mean like dating in the dating life, I think like Grinder and all that is not going. That's not where you're gonna find your people. I think you will find your people by either going out, mutually connecting with things that you guys are interested in.
Yeah.
I mean, you might also find some people that are might be genuine from a date, you know, Grinder, Facebook dating, or whatever. You ain't never
I,
gonna
I don't know about sniffies.
right. I'm about to say Stiffy is the spot for that. Stiffy is for a hookup. If you want to meet me less than a mile away, I'll see you there. That's how it is. Like, but Snippy, no. But I think for like
Yeah.
Facebook dating, POF, Tinder, and all that stuff, you know, people just want to fuck nowadays. They just don't want to be in a relationship because they can't be loyal. They don't know how to communicate or whatever the fuck their excuses.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, um, it's that's not what you. That's where you're not. It's not meant to be fine on social.
Yeah. And I'd like to talk about this with everybody because I think everybody's experience is very different. So for everybody listening, we do bring up kind of this conversation quite a bit because I think every part of the country is going to have a different feel for different things. Some of these apps might work a little differently for certain people. I think it can work for you. I think it's definitely a journey, and I think you have to really, I don't want to say have like a tough skin, but be able to kind of like siphon through the bullshit because there's a lot of bullshit
Um,
and be able to know what it is that you ultimately are looking for. And I think that if you are very clear with yourself, which most people can't be clear with themselves, this is where some of these apps come into problems, right? And then remembering that like a majority of the world is still very closeted, right? So
well,
you still have a lot of people that are out here closeted. You have a lot of people that ended up getting married, having kids, and not knowing how to handle that situation that are also on the apps and blank profiles. So really just paying attention to those things as you go through. When
no,
you get to the hookup house, look around. If you see family photos on the wall, you should know what the gig is.
like on God, automatically. No, I mean, like I said, I agree. It's just, it's we all might find our people online. It is what it is. I'm not saying that's not where you should find it. I mean, it's not, but also connecting with people in real life as far as like
Yeah.
going out. Like, I'm not saying to the bar, I'm not saying to the club. I'm saying like go at a coffee shop or something. And if shit, they're reading a book, like, oh my God, you've read that book? Like, it's good. Conversate with people as well as when you're out and about at the beach or you're listening to music and stuff like that. That's how you connect with people. My mom my mom met her husband by her best friend. Her best friend brought her brother to the beach. And basically, like, they connected. And now they've been married for 4 or 5 years, but they've been together for a while. I remember the first day, like, that day happened. My mom was cheesing left and right. Like, I was like, girl, please stop smiling. Stop it. Stop it. So, but I was very happy. But like I said, it's just certain people's like that. You know what I mean? You meet and you're like, oh my God, like, that's cool. I didn't meet you off a dating site. Like, I met you off by somebody else. Like, kind of like a blind date, I guess, in a way.
Right. And I think a lot of people listening can really take a second to think about that as well. Like getting back into the feeling of getting to meet people in real life. I think so many people nowadays are afraid to talk to somebody they're around. And I find it so wild. I know for me personally, I will go to a bar and talk to a random person that just ends
For
up at the
sure.
bar. We're both waiting on drinks. Like, we're both waiting on drinks, and I bet you if that bartender comes and talks to you first, I'm gonna get my drink order right in there with your drink order, and we're gonna pay separate, but I'm gonna make sure I get my drink faster than everybody else. Right? So I'm gonna talk to these people. I'm gonna get to know these people. I want to know what people are doing. I want to get to know people on a different level. When you meet people in public, you're gonna get to meet them on a process of like making friends. And so like you can truly get to meet some amazing people. I went with a bunch of friends, and I met a friend that was there. They ended up talking to this random guy that was standing next to them while they were waiting for me and my friends to show up to the bar. So when I got there, my friend was not interested into talking to this guy that was there, but I felt bad. Like this guy's here talking to everybody, like talking to you, wanting to get to know you, and you just like, oh, my friends are here, bye. I'm like, damn, bitch, that's wild. So like I started talking to the guy and I started like incorporating him into our group and getting to know him a little bit. And then I find out that like he lived in Japan. He's like a wine connoisseur. He has like this whole
Ah,
business. I'm like, you're not talking to these people, but like this man is just trying to like live life, make friends, and get to know people. And like our first perception is like we're so wrapped up in like our own space and like our own friend group and our own stuff that like sometimes these people that can
you
really
miss the
show you
people.
a different life,
Yeah.
like it's crazy because I've been spending all this time learning Japanese. So to meet somebody that has lived in Japan, I'm like, this is wild. This is like
Yeah.
the world is
That's what I'm saying. God puts people into people's life just to hey, like, Hi, like, how are you doing? Like I said, right now I'm talking to this dude. I just got out of a relationship. That's fine. Not really looking for nothing, not sexual, not nothing. Just a supportive friend. Somebody that we can relate in things and different things. And honestly, a sweet dude, man. Like there's certain people don't come by that is supportive, especially when you're going through something so hard and they just you don't really open up because you don't know that person. But at the same time, they can kind of understand it from your voice, by the way you look, by the way your face expressions changes. Like it's good to have people that really do genuinely care, and or really shit, you might miss your person by not even speaking to them because you were so focused with your friends. Or shit, you might find that cool ass best friend that's gonna be your ride or die, but because you were hanging out with someone else, you ignored that. So it's a hit and miss. You have to be really open minded
Yeah.
in this world. You really have to be. Um, I really do think like my stepdad Tony. He's a little talkative. He likes to talk. He likes to talk to people, and I think that's me in a way where I'm just like, oh, like okay, I get now where I get that from. It's from him. So it's certain things. It's like just being open and seeing because somebody might be going through some hard stuff. And just the other day I was working and this lady was legitimate just bawling. Like you could hear her in her voice. Like she was just going through whatever her husband has cancer and it's like not reversible and it's kind of sucks, as well as she's going through mortgage problems and stuff like that. So when I heard her talking and just whatever, it kind of just I was just like, it's okay, let it out. It's okay to be not okay. It sucks, but the person was like, I really thank you for telling. Like, I'm glad you picked up the phone. It makes you feel good to help someone.
Yeah.
It's okay to be yourself. It's okay to um be happy, be sad, be this and that person. If that person really genuinely care, they're gonna be there
Yeah.
automatically. You don't even have to be dating, but you could be at that bar sitting there so lonely, and that person just sitting there, not interacting with anybody else. Like those are the people that you go and you're like, hey, are you good? You doing okay? Like
Yeah.
on him. It
And
could be a random person. Shit. It's just
yeah,
you
and you
know.
never really know what those people are, they might have just moved into town for some random reason and have no friends whatsoever. Like, you never really know. But along the lines of that person that you were helping at work, did you also send them an invoice for the therapy session?
No. You know what? I should have, but no, it was just so sad because like I could hear her and she was just crying and she was like, I'm not trying to cry. Like, this is not on you. Like, I'm so sorry. I'm like, don't need to
Yeah.
apologize. It's human. Like, we all cry. Let it go. Like, if you need to grow, if you need to let it go, let it go. I mean, at this point, I told her, I was like, it turned into a mortgage to a therapy. So how can I help you? Like,
Right.
it's all about being that customer service, but also just that people person. You also have to be genuinely nice to people and don't
Yeah.
come and go. Dealing with DLs, dating them, like, oh hell no.
Listen, on that note, because we all know what it's like to date a DL. Now, with the great advice that you have been giving to the customer service that you are providing at work, and the great advice and therapy you give to your people, what is something that you want to share to people that are maybe younger, going through the process of really finding their authentic selves? What is advice that you want to share kind of with everybody listening that maybe can help them kind of guide through the different paths and just figure out their lives?
One person told me that we all going through some things in life. It could be way worse than us. And at the end of the day, you just have to find that inner inner self like love, as well as making sure you surround yourself around positive people that are always going to tell you how it is. Don't find people that are just going to sugarcoat that shit. No, find some people that are just going to be plain ass fucking serious. Like surround yourself with that, and you'll start thinking like life is going to be okay. But at the end of the day, I want to tell people to keep positive to yourself. Never let anybody tell you nothing different. Love yourself. Be the gayest, proudest person you are, lesbian, trans, queer, all that. To all my girls and guys, like, be yourself. Just growing up, it's not easy. Growing as a person is not easy. You just have to really know what you're doing. And, we're also gonna also deal with people that are deal with suicidal, and
Yeah.
it's just, you have to be there for that person. Like you said, we don't know what people are going through when we see them alone or when they're going through something. So be nice to one another, love yourself, and find that person who is going to understand you 100%, no matter what, and is going to sit down and listen. Tell them how you feel, and tell them don't do that again. Just
Yeah.
be yourself, love yourself, be the gayest person you are, whatever you are, it is who you are. And um God is
That's on period.
God is going to put somebody in your life who is going to be there for you. Look at Manny. Manny, I know Manny for a while. Like, let's not trip about that. Manny, I'm very proud of Manny as well. Like, Manny has come a big journey, gone through some rough shit similar to me. And I've taken a lot of advice from Manny. So if anything, like, listen to people that has gone through it and take those advices and learn from them and grow from them. And
And
yeah,
that's on period.
that's how, period. Girl, bye. Life is just it's a beautiful thing if you make it beautiful, you know?
Yeah, definitely. I think that that is some awesome advice. I think people really should take some time to really reflect on themselves. I think a lot of us have grown up in a time frame where we are taught that you should grow up to find somebody to have a family with and grow with and all of this stuff. But I think we don't spend enough time teaching young people that you also have to love yourself first. You have to learn how to be by yourself. You have to learn how to grow on your own. This way, when you do meet somebody that is just as stable as you can really maximize that growth as a relationship, because a lot of the time you're battling yourself before even battling a relationship when you get into it.
But you also have to love yourself before you can love someone else. Because if you don't love yourself,
If you can't love yourself,
I'm
how?
honestly, like, I'm speaking from experience because I'm lost and I don't even know what the fuck I want. Like, it's you have to know what you want, and you
Yeah.
have to what how to love yourself. And like I said, I just got out of a relationship, and just dealing with a lot of things is mentally draining. But day by day, you take it, and you're just like, yo, like, I have to think that people got it way worse than me. It's just
Yeah.
been.
And on the journey of loving yourself, I think a part of loving yourself is also being able to understand a part of letting go. And in the art of letting go, here at Girlbye, we love to take a moment and say girl bye to somebody in your
Oh,
past that should remain there and should officially know that girl bye, we're done, we're moved on, we're past all this. So who in your life do you officially want to say girl bye?
it sucks because I can't really give you that. I think I could definitely say Kevin, girl bye, girl bye. Yeah, I think that's the only person I kind of want to say. I think that's just in my head, but you grow with that. That's what I'm saying. Every person
Yeah.
you go grow and it makes you stronger. So, um, maybe in the next couple of months, if we have this and you ask me that question again, I could say the last X. But as for right now, I'm still kind of, still whatever. But everybody else in my life that has just whatever, girl, bye. Period.
Well, period. So girl bye to all them bitches and girl bye
Okay.
to Kevin.
Okay.
So I want to first thank you for joining us here at Girl Bye. We have had a lot of fun today, kind of going through all of your journey and really getting to see a lot more of you and your personality. I want to thank you for always being completely authentically you. That's the reason why I have you as a friend and I like having you around, is because you are so authentically you. Although you might be lost most of the time, you are still you.
Okay,
And
okay.
that's what we love. Well, I got to be a little bit shady. That's
I
the
know, shit. Okay, okay, okay. No, I get that, and I really appreciate you because, to be honest, in the beginning, when I first met you, Cheyenne was telling me like, that's your friend, like that's your men friend, like. And it's funny because I really did not understand that, but the more that I kept like getting to know you, the more that I got to have you as my side, as my friend, my best friend. On top of that, like I said, I think for me it's just like I appreciate you because you could have been garbage, like you could have been. But I
To
appreciate.
be fair, I did pack my bags a couple of times.
Or you sure did. And I'm like, I don't know why he's still here, but I love it. Like, no, but like I said, I'm very thankful for you and I really appreciate this, interview as well. I'm grateful. Like I said, one door closes, another one opens. And I'm just very grateful for life and grateful for the people that I have in my life that are really are looking out for the best of me. And I would never take advantage of that or anything. So thank you for having me and thank you for and making me join the Girlbye podcast. Like you already know.
Yes.
Uh,
Officially a part of the Girlbye family.
hey, period.
And always welcome to come back. Thank you for joining us here at Girlbye. Join us every week on Monday when we bring you the realest conversations on the internet. So thank you for joining us, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Bye, guys.